I'm Kass Green, and I'm president of Kass Green and Associates, and I do consulting on remote sensing policy and also mapping projects. Usually we've been classifying Landsat imagery just pixel by pixel, which was fine at the moderate resolution of Landsat imagery. When you start getting the high resolution imagery, there's lots of noise. So it's really wonderful to work with a 6-inch pixel when I've got airborne imagery, but then I've got pixels of the bright side of the trees and pixels of the dark side of the trees and pixels in between the trees. So we moved to object-oriented classification, and what that means is you have an algorithm that draws circles around the pixels or polygons around the pixels, and then you classify that polygon instead of the individual pixels. You know, the bad side of that is the high resolution imagery is always spectrally limited. It doesn't have the mid-infrared, doesn't have the thermal. It's also really expensive, so you don't get multi-temporal imagery. Landsat, it's every 16 days. So what we do now is we take the objects and we intersect them with the Landsat data. So we've got the high resolution spectral response, but then we get the Landsat spectral response. And then we put multi-temporal Landsat data in there. So bringing those together, it's really powerful. I've been making high resolution maps for probably over 10 years now. Every single project, when you look at the important variables, Landsat's still one of the top 10 variables. EROS is doing an incredible job with the archive. To see what it was like at the beginning and how it has changed now, I mean, it's so much bigger, for one. They got those old MSS tapes, got all the archives in all the different countries, so we have a worldwide archive. I mean, the EROS's archive, not just Landsat, EROS's archive with all the different imagery is really impressive, and it's the only place in the world that you can get this kind of data, because that's where it all lives. Well, as part of the Landsat Advisory Group, we did a study where we looked at what would be the cost of losing Landsat data, and we looked at 16 different programs, and I think we came up with a figure of $1.8 billion a year if Landsat wasn't there. So these were mostly government programs that are doing their work, and we asked them, if you didn't have Landsat, how much would it cost you every year to do what you're doing? And some groups came back and said we couldn't do what we're doing. It's more valuable now because it's free and open, so organizations can rely on it. They can rely on it being there. I think Landsat's healthier now as a program than it's ever been, and that is because it's so widely used. I've been involved in promoting Landsat since the early 1990s, and I was involved in the 1992 Act that brought Landsat back to the government. Landsat, made my career, so I feel like I owe a lot back to Landsat. So I speak about it every chance I can, from lobbying to giving interviews, anything I can do to promote Landsat, because I think it's a critical Earth resource. It's that 44 years of continuity, all those pictures of the Earth and of the high quality, the high calibrated imagery across the whole spectrum. We just don't have anything else like that. It's the record of what we're doing to the world, of natural hazards, natural disasters. We keep making more people. We're not making any more land. That means that resources are more and more valuable. And Landsat helps us both inventory those resources and monitor change over time. And as those resources continue to get more valuable, we desperately need a Landsat type system that monitors our resources.